Today's recommendation is the steak. It's been getting quite busy recently.
Пам-парам-пам. Алло.
Today's recommendation
Вот
is
так.
steak.
Так, что у нас там? Ну, я все-таки прошел это задание с казухой. Теперь можно будет продолжать сюжетку. Опа. Вот сюда. А почему вдруг Виктор здесь оказался? Он же уехал отсюда в Сумеру. Вот что он тут делает?
Everyone hold hands. Hey. Everyone hold hands.
Ты помрешь сегодня или нет? Вот, наконец-то.
No, my sword.
Бегает куда-то, бегает, блин. Самая лучшая анимация из всех, наверное, противников. Щит поставил и убежал. Блин, здорово.
Body and mind.
Keep up.
Everyone hold hands. This might hurt a little.
Ну, вообще я хотел огонь раздуть, а она, видать, огонь не раздувает. Мгм.
Committed to memory.
Can't see. Ha! So. Boom. Keep up.
Rain outlines your. Everyone hold hands.
I'll uproot you. Enshroud. Ha! So.
Grow, grow, grow.
Привет, Кира.
Hey.
Так, все, это все ежедневки. Так, еще надо будет... да, надо будет сходить боссов тогда поубивать.
Ad Astra Ab.
Чтобы смолу
Thank
потратить.
you for complete. Ad Astra Ab. This realm is. If you ever have any.
Так, а я
This
точно
realm
все-то
is.
собрал? Блин, вот эти анимации долгие. Да, все, я и там забрал. Ну, что-то я понатыкал, даже
If you
вообще
ever
внимания
have
не
any
обратил. Так, идем тогда в Сумеру. Сюда. Так, и что вот к нему взять? Блин, я вот это возьму.
Adventure time.
Bow before me, worm.
Да-да, я тоже очень сильно рад тебя видеть.
Witness the power of good luck. Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword.
Perish!
Так, а здесь-то что надо делать? А, во. Тут нужно просто бегать от него по кругу и собирать вот эти вот штуки. Не работает.
Shoot, I can't afford any more bandages.
Reality is pain.
Time to act. Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword.
Ай, больно.
A minor
Good
setback.
riddance.
Чего? У меня Беннет умер? Нет.
You can't run. Let's light it up. Yeah. Goga, get them.
А, ну понятно. Меня никто не достает до них. Ладно, хоть Розария попадает.
Possible.
А можно мне туда залететь, пожалуйста? Почему она не попадает? То есть, что я сделал не так? Почему? А, то есть она попросту не цепляется.
Let's light it up. You can't run.
Ну, я его за прокаст не забрал, да.
Everybody stand back. Punishment.
Ну ладно. Будем просто стоять и смотреть, как он умирает.
Reality is pain. I was destined for more.
Но если честно, я не понял, почему. То есть она стоит полностью в доступе, эта штука. Я должен был за нее цепляться, а она за нее не цеплялась. Обидно. Ну, наверное, вместо тебя я возьму тебя.
Ready for anything.
Да. Да, Мику молодец, просто как...
Reveal thy swear by my sword. A sight to behold. Emerge. Right here. Emerge. Absurd. The temple of wisdom. Illusions of destruction. Wings of darkness.
А ведь если бы не вот эта анимация, я бы ее сейчас уже добил. Где она? А, это и была она настоящая.
I see everything. By royal Your verdict is decided. Wind, hear me. Share my knowledge. Everyone hold hands. Shadow Raven.
Да,
Emerge. Right now. I'm always watching.
попало или нет? Нет. Угу.
This may hurt a little. Let's change tactics. This body is eternal.
Вот, ну, серьезно, почему? То есть, ради чего она ушла в иммунитет? Она телепортнулась, осталась бы на месте и померла. Нет, ей нужно было телепортнуться, и я вынужден смотреть на все вот эти анимации, сражаться с ней в щите. Нет, я не хочу ее просто добить и больше с ней не связываться. Привет, Виктория. Как бы она 2 раза просто тупо убежала и... А, ну да, у меня теперь нету... Да ладно, сейчас у нее уже нафармим ультимейты. То есть она попросту взяла, убежала 2 раза. Ладно, я еще раз хочу перезапустить. Не повезло, как мне, а как? В смысле, ты что, покрутила баннер и выиграла, что ли?
Thunder. Right here, right now, right here. Go and fly. Commit to memory. Yeah. Swear by my sword.
No rest for the wicked.
I see everything. Make yourselves at home. Emerge right now.
А ведь я же переключился на фишель, и чтобы поставить ворону, но ворона не поставилась, потому что она решила ее подозвать к себе, а не...
Right here. Emerge. Commit to memory. Barbados. Guide us. Go and fly. Your verdict is decided. This may hurt a little. Right here. Emerge.
То есть не было вот этой анимации, где она там, сколько их, 4-5 штук, она расходится по углам. И не было другой анимации, когда она попросту встала в иммунитет и все. То есть я ее заспамил уроном, она померла. И это было бы быстрее, чем сбивать ее щит и всякой вот этой ерундой заниматься. Так что я даже не зря 2 раза перезапустил. Да. Бонус электроурона, шанс крита, сила атаки. Ты... так у тебя теперь есть над кем издеваться на аккаунте, да? Ха-ха-ха. Молодец, молодец. Вот хочу я с ней сражаться или нет? Вот мне кажется, я не хочу. Я лучше пойду к Тарталии и настукаю ему по голове очень больно и очень быстро.
This opportunity is quite hard to come by. Well then, amuse me. Surrender is a valid option. I promise I'll be gentle. Not bad. You've got a trick or two.
Right here. right now.
All you do is run.
Hey! Emerge right now. I swear by my sword. Midnight Phantasm. Hey!
Куда ты убежал?
Emerge right here. I summon the committed to memory.
В общем, будешь издеваться над маленьким бедным мальчиком, который хотел стать богом, но его опрокинули. И теперь над ним все издеваются, все теперь будут об него вытирать ноги. Кстати, бонус гидроурона, вроде бы есть шанс крита. Ну, блин, неплохо. Но ты его все равно хотя бы прокачай, там ему 3 короны в него вкинь, чтобы он был такой, ну, типа, нормальный. Вот они. Ну, а что будет у тебя странник 90 уровня, 3 короны? Не знаю, там С3 его себе еще выбьешь и все.
By royal decree. Emerge. Ha! A sight to behold. Right here. Emerge. Right here.
As you wish me.
Его можно обозвать после квеста.
I see everything. Right now. Emerge. Hey!
Ну, по сути, это как бы чисто по сюжету, то он же у нас не виноват в том, что он сломался. Он же был просто кукла, которую бросили,
By royal decree.
которая попала, не попала, а связалась с плохой компанией, которые навязали там, как вот это вот, типа, мнение, мировоззрение. В общем,
Wings of darkness.
Скоромучу просто не повезло.
Right now. Barbados. Guide us. I see everything. Emerge.
I'll be back. You want this one?
А чё эта штука еще живая до сих пор? Серьезно? Ты хочешь сказать, что у тебя вот тут в выборе персонажа он будет именно так, как его игрок назовет? Серьезно?
Shadow Raven. Let's. Hey!
Ну здорово тогда, чё нет-то. Такое типа маленькое разнообразие. Так, ну в чайнике я был, я все выполнил. Ну вот у меня тоже теперь остается теперь только этот квест. Пойдем тогда.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay! That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Загадка Татарсуна. Просто сейчас вот эта вот фраза пойман. Как там, типа, похоже, что в Сумеру можно изучать все, что угодно. Вот те же самые британские ученые, которые доказали то, что британские ученые что-то доказали. Что такое Татарасуна? Где это? Это Цуруми, это Сайрай, ну, в Атацуме, остров Наруками. Я не помню, где это находится. А, вот это что. Это этот Горн Микаги.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatara Suna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it.
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatara Suna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
А кабуки моно это который типа предок, как его зовут-то, блин, Казухи, который свалил в Снежную. Это он?
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
А кабуки моно это про Скоромуча тогда, значит, да, типа идет речь. Типа он сидел там что-то ковал, потом, да ну нафиг, все, бросил и свалил. Ну, сейчас нам расскажут.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Я столько не прочитаю за сегодня, это слишком много букв, мне уже плохо. М. Я надеюсь, потом, может быть, когда-нибудь я это осилю. То есть это просто какой-то рассказ, не с грозой, кто знает. Но это именно кусок из книги, как типа рассказ. Тут, если это все именно выкинуть и оставить полезную информацию, ее будет, наверное, вот так. А все остальное просто как бы описание, которое, конечно же, интересно, но, блин, я это все не прочитаю.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
А, еще больше текста. Хорошо. Радан Гокаден, Мигоши Нагамаса. Райден Гокаден это типа искусство Райден в создании мечей. Да, это я знаю, потому что я сегодня проходил квест Казухи. Микоши Нагамаса, не помню, что именно значит. Ну да, ну вот. Тут описывается про это. Я надеюсь, на ютубе есть где-нибудь просто видосик, который это все расскажет четко, нормально, понятно, который можно будет посмотреть, послушать и не читать, и не сопоставлять факты как бы самому. Появилась кукла. Это тонна текста просто. Ладно, я потом,
So
может
while
быть,
it
когда-нибудь
was encouraging you to
перечитаю.
follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawana's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't
И
it?
там была цифра 400 лет назад. Типа, значит, Скоромучу 400 лет. Потому что он появился там 400 лет назад. Вот оно как. И он до сих пор не сломался. Какие крепкие батарейки у него, а? Ну или вернее сломался, но он скорее умом тронулся, а не сломался. Вот.
If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in... Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Привет, Котейкович.
The balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
У меня, кстати, тоже выпал Тигнарий вместо Скоромуча. Ну, я прям порадовался. Угу. Блин, я хотел ее мысли прочитать, а не прочитал.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are.
А через 3 крутки еще и Скоромуча выпал? Ну, блин, круто.
Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
Но она тоже крутанула, и ей тоже Скоромуча выпал. Но так как она мальчиков не любит, она его ненавидит. Да. Угу.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumero would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
А он все как бы продолжает дерзить, типа, это высокомерный, дерзкий, но с разбитым лицом.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Правда, говорит, какая досада.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nihira, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Ну, вообще, как бы да, то есть Скоромуча у нас бывший предвестник, который знает, по сути, о Фатуи, блин, все, что ему было положено знать. А это очень дохрена относительно того, что знает о Фатуи, собственно, сам Тревелер. Это очень много. И типа Скоромуча, как именно стратегический союзник, ну, он очень важен. Тупо из-за информации. То есть то, что находится в его голове, то, что он знает, это прям, ну, очень ценно.
Go now and keep in touch.
Nihira, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
Ну, кстати, сердца бога у него нет. Так и глаз бога он не имел, да, как кукла. У него был глаз порчи, насколько я понимаю. А сейчас у него нет ничего, то есть он в принципе бесполезен.
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me.
Ну, он сломался в момент, когда проиграл. То есть именно в момент, когда у него не получилось стать новым архонтом и ему типа надрали жопу, все, он стал бесполезен, и Дотора его по сути выкинул. То есть он же и был именно подручным инструментом для Дотора. И Дотора его как бы использовал. Раз инструмент сломался, все, он его выкинул, и он ему больше не нужен. Именно в этот момент он как бы все перестал быть предвестником. когда он проиграл. Если бы у него получилось стать именно новым архонтом, то да, он бы тогда бы остался полезным для Фатуи, да Тора бы там как-то продолжил бы его дальше использовать, это изучать, да, и все именно вот это делать. А так как он проиграл, ну все, его отправили на свалку. Хотя, по сути, это был всего лишь эксперимент, который не удался, и если бы его немножечко переделать, они бы могли прийти к успеху, так что вот, типа, бросать такой эксперимент на полпути, это, ну, глупо, и, типа, просто так взять и бросить его, ну, это все равно важный ресурс, то есть оставлять его здесь никак нельзя было, вот прям вообще нельзя было. Каким бы, типа, умным Доторы не был, вот этот поступок, типа, оставить Скоромучу в Сумеру, это было очень тупо.
So I asked the balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information and should be able to find it more quickly.
Ну и как бы у Скоромучи-то была цель именно оставаться с Фатуями, именно показать Райден, что он тоже силен, и зря она его выкинула, и типа, ну, в общем, отомстить Райден. А так как у него не получилось, он сейчас тоже раздавленный, и у него нету никаких желаний, причин именно оставаться с Фатуями, то есть ему это незачем. У него была цель, которую он придерживался, и типа Фатуи ему помогали выполнить свою цель, так как он не смог, да, то есть сейчас он, ну, просто вот как раздавленная галоша, которая просто валяется и не знает, что ей делать дальше. Привет, Дмитрий.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him.
То есть он же...
Us as enemies every time we run into him.
Именно Скоромучу уже было плевать на цели Фатуи, вообще на все ему было плевать. У него была своя собственная цель именно отомстить Райден. Все, ну именно самому занять ее место, чтобы показать ей, что вот типа он тоже очень сильный, и зря она его бросила. Хотя по сути, ну она его сделала, как бы посмотрела, ну вроде работает прикольно, и оставила. То есть для нее это, ну как бы, ну просто поделка, которая обрела разум и сломалась, и обезумела, и захотела ей отомстить.
I understand. But sometimes everything is dictated by which side you're on.
Был план, он его придерживался, но, видать, не получилось. Нет, я бы, наверное, назвал бы тогда уж Казуху истинным анема-архонтом, никак не Скоромучу. Ну, хотя, с другой стороны, все равно Венти, он... Ну, это Венти, город свободы. Он такой.
How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Нет, как бы в любом случае, если именно разобраться в мотивах персонажа, ну, они четко прослеживаются, да. Именно в Скоромуче. То есть, ну, логичные выводы маленького мальчика, несозревшего, который решил отомстить родителям, уйти из дома, а потом прийти и сжечь дом.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Everyone's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease.
Крутануть 120 круток на Ита, ну, вперед.
Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Ну, типа, Ирминсуль — это дерево жизни мира, да, насколько я понимаю. То есть, по сути, этот мир жив, пока живо это дерево. А к чему это вообще отсылка? То есть, это же не просто так они придумали, это же именно к чему-то отсылка. То есть, это, ну, и именно этот мир основан на чем-то. Но именно функция Ирминсули, как я понимаю, это именно сердце мира. То есть, пока дерево живо, мир тоже живет.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
Ну и про Венти тоже, да? Ну, блин, он, по сути, анем-архонт. Он достаточно силен, чтобы вписаться за свой народ, если будет происходить что-то прям, ну, с чем, собственно, люди Манштата сами справиться не смогут. Поэтому он как бы и бухает, то есть у него все под контролем, он чисто расслабляется, ну, ему это нравится, приносит удовольствие, он никому не мешает, ему, ну, нравится вкус вина, он его пьет, уничтожает. Все. У него есть на это свои причины, так пусть делает. От этого плохо только ему, и то он же, ну, все равно, когда нужно, Венти трезвый.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much.
Fine, let's call it truce, but only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn catch up with him. Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul.
А тут будут какие-нибудь красивые касцены или что-нибудь такое? Ну-ка, я, наверное, чаты Барбара уберу. Ну так, чисто на всякий случай.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Сколько весит его шляпа?
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
А на остальное прикручивается к голове шурупами? Ха-ха-ха.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Почему опять его слова не озвучены? Блин, это так дорого, что ли, заплатить Изаку за то, чтобы он вот это прочитал? Или что? В чем прикол?
Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Хайпасия, кто это? Знакомая, я не помню. Ну, то есть имя знакомое, но я не помню где, откуда.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
Ну, не знаю, мне кажется, Додога будет именно стабильнее, потому что, ну, песня странника, сколько она там работает? 10 секунд работает, потом 20 не работает, потом опять 10 работает. И это будет поймать очень тяжело. С какими-то прям овер до хрена статами это будет выгодно, да, что ты на 10 секунд становишься прям суперсильным. А потом-то ты всю эту силу теряешь, поэтому, ну, не знаю. Мне вот этим не нравится песня странника. Во, точно, это та тетка, которая чуть с ума не сошла. И это именно в тот момент мы разумами столкнулись перед тем, как с ним пошли сражаться. Да. Ну, именно он с нами разговаривал. В этом как бы и проблема вот этого сюжета, он очень сильно растянутый. Я сегодня на другом аккаунте перепроходил сюжет разлома, потому что там я его не прошел. И там тоже были маленькие моменты, которые я уже давно забыл. Растянутость сюжета это прям очень плохо, ну реально. То есть я большую часть его уже реально забыл.
If you mean the mysterious events, the kabuki mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that? Didn't Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself, and making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are, as I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Что-то он как-то знакомо выглядит, но я не помню, кто это.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death.
But what, judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you... If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Он внезапно заговорил голосом Доттора.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment.
То есть вот это сейчас происходит 400 лет назад. Когда у нас Скоромуча был еще просто куклой, он тут бродил, Доттора уже существовал.
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
То есть Фатуи были уже тогда, 400 лет назад, как полноценная организация, и у них уже тогда был план, который они уже приводили в действие.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
А сколько лет тогда остальным Фатуим? Ну, типа, если до Торы 400 лет, у них тогда был план, то есть у них были фатуи, также предвестники, которые помирали, на их место приходили еще, они опять помирали, опять приходили еще, они опять помирали. И это уже четвертое, пятое поколение предвестников фатуи. Среди них остался только неизменный Скоромуча, Датора, а остальные-то как бы, ну,
Just to create a
по-любому уже менялись.
minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it. That's why you gave us your cursed technology?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind.
Фатуи, шматуи, ну да.
It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as he has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat.
Ну и типа он у нас тоже не человек, а монстр или демон.
I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me, creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
Шут — это одно из имен, ну либо прозвищ другого футуиста, другого предвестника. Или все-таки это же доктор Шут? Я у них в именах не разбираюсь, но у них там прям есть четкая штука. Ну, то есть у каждого предвестника есть свое прозвище. Кого он именно имеет в виду, себя или кого-то еще, я вот не знаю, я не помню. Я это видел, читал, но... И при этом это есть, ну, как бы реальная отсылка на что-то, ну, то есть на что-то из нашего мира, все вот эти предвестники, все их имена, это прям отсылка.
I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hey, are you alright?
Скормучий опять сломался, то есть это больно, когда человек, да, кукла, он и так-то, собственно, уже подавленный, сломленный, а тут ему еще открывается правда, и он такой, блин, все, что он делал в своей жизни, было неправдой и было неправильно. И тут он начинает это осознавать и чувствует свою никчемность, то есть он страдает еще больше. И Виктория на этом моменте, наверное, прям вообще порадовалась за него.
Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the kabuki mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Скоромуча — это босс-вертолет. Ну блин, в каждой игре обязан быть просто босс-вертолет.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Нужно его толкнуть, чтобы он упал.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Ну, на самом деле, как бы вот это вот все типа предательство, все вот эти вот его обиды, они были слишком давно. То есть он как кукла, даже уже живая, не живая, без разницы. Он все равно живет, он развивается, он приобретает жизненный опыт. И типа сейчас, да, он спустя 400 лет узнал правду, это все обдумал, ну и что? То есть это, ну, поменяет его решение, но это не сведет его с ума. То есть это было слишком давно. По сути, именно узнать правду через какое-то вот такое продолжительное количество времени, ну, это значительно проще. То есть ты можешь, ну, ты как бы уже пережил все те эмоции, да, ты уже это все пережил, обдумал, ты узнаешь сейчас правду такой, ну и что, это было уже давно. Ты можешь как бы принять решение там отомстить или что-то еще сделать, но это будут уже не эмоции, это будет уже как бы холодный расчет. Ну, если вот так грубо, то есть, ну.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Ну и опять же, да, Дотора, блин, ну почему он его оставил здесь? Зачем? Это слишком опасно.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Значит, нужно найти другое дерево, другого мира, и там будет информация о них. Так? То есть это дерево содержит информацию только об этом мире, а так как они иномирцы, в нем нет информации о брате и сестре. Значит, нужно найти в дереве информацию про другое дерево, отправиться к другому дереву и посмотреть там. Раз у нас есть четкий факт того, что существуют другие миры, значит существуют и другие деревья.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time.
Шут – один из предвестников Фатуи.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
То есть, получается, у них есть Дотора, который живет уже очень давно, есть Шут, который такой же, как и Денслейв, да, то есть он был жителем Каинриах, а теперь он просто бессмертный, который не стареет, и он один из Фатуи. У них там вообще есть нормальные люди, нет?
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Нет, так про брата нету никакой информации. Есть информация только про сестру. То есть сестра не записана в ряды сошедших. Сошедших двое или трое сказали. Но сестра не в их числе. То есть у нас есть Итер и еще как минимум один или двое еще сошедших, о которых нет информации в Ирминсуле.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Но вот опять же, да, типа такой вопрос. Возможно ли в этом мире изменить прошлое? Ну, скорее всего, возможно. Потому что если мы вспомним Райден, она посадила дерево в прошлом, а оно выросло в настоящем. И все живущие думают о том, что оно существовало, то есть все. Они смогли удалить из Ирминсуля информацию о Рукхадевате. И все в мире это забыли. То есть, по сути, если в Ирминсуль записать какую-то информацию о том, что это существовало, оно появится в этом мире, и все будут, знать об этом, что оно существует. Ну, если вспомнить именно вот этот вот момент с Сакурой, которую Райден посадила из сознания Макото. То есть Райден знает о том, что она ее посадила, ее там никогда не было, а все остальные знают о том, что она была там всегда. Не, ну так я про вот это и говорю, что она ее посадила, и она выросла. Но все знают о том, что она там была всегда. И с Рукхадеватой точно так же. Она как бы была, но ее удалили, и все про нее забыли. Ну, хотя у нас есть грибы, которые почему-то названы до сих пор в ее честь, но ладно. Но вот эти вот именно моменты со временем, они, они интересные, особенно когда они очень хорошо прописаны.
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me.
У него нет сюжетного бафа? Не, понятное дело, что он не сможет. То есть для того, чтобы записать какую-то информацию в Ирминсуле или удалить, нужно, собственно, владеть правами администратора, чтобы это делать. Он может просто как бы посмотреть, но он с этим ничего сделать не может. Ни записать, ни удалить, ни как-то обменять, ни чего-то еще.
So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
На Эрену я не знаю, что это такое.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Не, ну у Венди-то да, это как бы легко объяснить, хотя это может быть и Белочка, как бы тут, ну да. Я Атаку Титанов как бы не читал, не смотрел, я не знаю, что это. А, это этот Эрон.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
Не, ну я не думаю, что прям тут все настолько круто и запутано.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Нет, скорее всего, это один сервер. То есть именно один. И в него можно что-то записать, что-то убрать, и мир из-за этого перестраивается.
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before? He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life! It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it! So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might
Ну
do.
и как бы у нас же еще он знает правду про мир, устройство мира, Ну, имеется в виду Скоромуча, да, кто такие там Селестия, зачем они там спускались и все вот это. Он много чего знает. Еще когда он первый раз появился, он говорил о том, что небеса над нашими головами не настоящие. И, соответственно, именно из-за того, что он очень много знает, он как бы и предположил, что а возможно ли изменить прошлое? Тревелер такой задумался, он такой, ага, значит, все-таки способ есть. И решил попробовать. Исходя из собственных знаний и навыков, которые у него есть. Ну, не все застали самое первое появление Скоромуча, поэтому я, конечно же, его сам помню не очень-то хорошо. Но он там четко говорил, что именно небеса над нашими головами, они не настоящие, они поддельные.
Paimon's so confused. Huh? Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh! Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, creams, and Drayan chili chicken. Almond tofu, satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and...
Паймон, успокойся, хватит.
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon certainly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again? The Balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Да, говорит, сейчас до Инадзумы туда-сюда метнемся, там дело-то вообще он вышел из дома, как до пятерочки дойти. Не, ну понятное дело, да, что Скоромуча знал только то, что знали Фатуи, но тем не менее он знал значительно больше, чем знает Тревелер. Даже сейчас, в то время он знал уже больше. А они же какое-то время еще там осуществляли там свои планы, там выясняли информацию и все вот это, поэтому, ну блин, Скоромуч много чего знает. Потому что она из этого мира. Она именно из этого мира, и она подчиняется законам этого мира. А Тревелер не из этого мира, и он не подчиняется законам этого мира, поэтому он знает и про этого Скоромучу, и про Рокхадевату, и вообще про все. То есть ему плевать на законы этого мира, на то, что они меняются. Его это не касается, у него полный иммунитет к этому. А вот Пайман, даже если она там с кем-то связана, даже если она именно самый первый изначальный бог, который создал все вот это, она все равно подчиняется законам этого мира, законам Ирминцуля. И если в Ирминцуле что-то пропало, она будет считать, что этого никогда не было. И будет жить по этому закону, собственно. Но это всего лишь информация, да, то есть ничего пока не изменилось, просто никто про него не знает. Хорошо.
Of course. Go ahead. No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft, and most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline. But fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, if my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now.
Да, я знаю, я днем проходил этот квест, поэтому я помню. Если бы я проходил его год назад, я бы вообще забыл, о чем они тут говорили.
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, he told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokunen, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful the Raiden Gokunen were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphan son was left to fend for himself. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, The only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent-up anger. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Тут как бы вопрос в другом. А помнит ли сам Скоромуч о том, кто он был? То есть он это все изменил, да? И он же считает о том, что, не было самого именно Скоромуча. Он не хотел стать там архонтом, он никогда не был фатуистом и все вот это. То есть он же, скорее всего, теперь этого не помнит. Так же, как Нахида не помнит о том, что Рукхадевата существовала. Так? Так что теперь внезапно нам не за что не любить Скоромучу.
Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Ненависть к шляпе никуда не ушла, но шляпа-то у него теперь другая.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go
Такой вежливый охранник.
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Бабушка, можно кое-что спросить?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever.
So pretty much business is...
Very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always, I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better. I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about... It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato
А
passed
кто-нибудь
away.
помнит, почему именно они умерли? Они болели или что? Ну, именно имеется в виду мать с отцом. Почему они умерли?
As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too! Also, you were saying something about the food here being... Paimon's itching to try it! We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant...
Of course, you're always welcome.
Сценаристы тоже любят грибы и подражать Венте. Здорово. А еще больше они, наверное, любят вино на грибах.
Alright, goodbye for now. We're, great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see her...
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Какой доброжелательный охранник. Блин, мы на работе, когда работали, тоже там было КПП, и вот там в одну смену попадался нам охранник. Каждый день, как там, добрый день, здравствуйте, счастливого пути, и всегда вежливо, всегда прям вот так доброжелательно. На него вот прям иногда прям смотришь, ну реально, чувак настолько уставший, целыми днями бегать, это все там смотреть, через это КПП сутками работать, на улице холодно, но всегда вежливый, всегда улыбается. Блин, его когда видишь, так прям настроение поднималось на работе. А сколько лет я сюда не телепортился специально? Сколько? Ну, потому что делать больше было нечего. И тут, ну, те двое там так все и стоят. А вот он как выглядел, Ксавье. Вот я его с кем попутал.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler and Paimon?
Привет, Наушика.
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true. The history... Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious...
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatara Suna?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a hit.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for it? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatara Suna is concerned. Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really trouble. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Она сказала про крокодила. Улыбайся как крокодил или что-то такое. Не унывай. А тут нет ни строчки про это. Ну ладно.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Она грибы умеет подбирать? Да, она умеет даже грибы подбирать.
I see everything.
Это устойчивое выражение, оно не переводится? Ну, я-то не знаю, я не в курсе. Я слышу слово крокодил, я хочу, чтобы оно было написано внизу. Нифига, а что это он пальцами на меня показывает? Это что это такое? Он хочет, чтобы ему пальцы сломали, что ли?
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh, of course.
А, то есть нам сначала дали кучу текста, чтобы мы прочитали, а теперь нам дали еще раз кучу текста, чтобы мы нашли разницу, что поменялось. Я в первый раз это все не запомнил. Второй раз я это тоже читать не смогу. Блин, это же гениально. Они пометили очень важную часть золотым цветом. Хорошо. Это может будет хоть мельком прочитать.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
А, еще один текст надо прочитать. А, ну ладно. Я надеюсь, тут тоже будет что-нибудь. А, ну это больше такое, типа, как в книжке, художественное, да, написано. Четыре тучи обрушились на лодку от рыбака, который бла-бла-бла.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about...
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess... Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't...
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
Я бы сказал, наверное, слишком много букв на экране одновременно. Вот, да.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Это как открываешь вот раньше, да, когда учились там какой-нибудь учебник по алгебре, и там очень и очень и очень много букв, и ты такой, блин, а можно поменьше, пожалуйста, там что-нибудь 2 плюс 2 и все. А там А и Б сидели на трубе, и все вот это. У нее нет мыслей, она не хочет их читать.
Everyone hold hands. Nahida, we're here. Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma. The Balladeer? Sounds like some kind of code name.
Ну, как бы она его тоже не помнит, потому что она живет по законам этого мира.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Нам теперь вкратце будут рассказывать сюжет. Здорово.
quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it.
Она помнит именно бой с машиной, но не помнит самого Скрамучу. И вот тут как бы тогда вопрос, да, если Скрамучи никогда не существовало, Дотора его никогда не встречал, у него не было планов на эксперимент, и поэтому он не привез его в Инадзуму, чтобы в Инадзуме сделать из Скрамучи нового архонта. То есть этой машины в принципе не должно было существовать, и вот этого вот всего замута Дотора тоже не должно было в принципе существовать, потому что из чего, на основе чего он бы это начал делать, как, зачем, типа... Ему раз и пришла в голову идея, блин, в Сумеру есть архонт, да, я привезу туда какой-нибудь механизм, чтобы архонт с ним посражался. Скрамуч был основой, ядром для становления нового архонта. Именно на этом основывался план. Без Скрамуча этот план был бы невозможен, и в принципе, ну, зачем? Ладно.
Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
Когда дети учились, ты тоже пытался учиться, да? Ну, класса, наверное, до 4-го, до 5-го, а потом понял, что, ну, дети учатся, пусть они сами учатся, да? Не нужно к ним лезть.
Person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Или же он просто изменил только воспоминания, а сам мир остался прежним. Ну, то есть, исчезли только воспоминания. То есть, все это произошло, но Нахида не помнит о том, что... Скоромуч существовал. Дотора тоже не помнил о том, что Скоромуч существовал. Ну или вернее, как? Это все сначала произошло, а потом все забыли о том, что Скоромуч существовал. То есть он не изменил мир. Он попросту убрал информацию о себе, но таймлайн остался тем же, и то, что произошло в момент, когда Скоромуч существовал, оно не изменилось после того, как информация о нем удалилась из Ирминсуля. То есть по факту мир остался тем же, просто он забыл, что Скоромуч существовал и продолжил жить дальше. Все. Соответственно, он прошлое не поменял, он просто заставил... Это как эти, знаете, люди в черном-то, они вот эту штуку достали там и наговорили всякого, но это же не избавляет всех людей от того, что типа инопланетяне существуют. Они есть, просто они стерли им память, наговорили всякой фигни, и они об этом забыли. Вот, наверное, как это было. Он просто стер воспоминания, но мир остался тем же. Он никак не изменился, абсолютно никак. Просто воспоминания немного перестроились, но сам мир, сама структура, она осталась. То есть это не какой-то там эффект бабочки или как оно там называется. Типа если ты что-то в прошлом поменяешь, то будущее кардинально поменяется. Тут ничего не изменилось. На мир никакого влияния отсутствие этой информации не оказало. Ну нет и нет, ну забыли, ну и ладно. Это же уже произошло. Это как с этой... Шел, упал, очнулся, гипс. Где шел, зачем шел, не помнишь, но это же произошло. Но ты об этом не помнишь?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Ну и типа на самом деле это слишком просто. Ну, то есть, если вдруг кого-то не устроит какая-то информация, он подключился к Ирминцулю, удалил, и все об этом забыли. То есть вообще все, там архонты, боги, просто все. Ну это как-то слишком просто.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he...
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that, and if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
А, кстати, да, у нас же есть еще капсула знаний внезапно, которая отделена от Ирминцуля. И даже несмотря на то, что у нас не существует в мире теперь Рокхедевата и Скоромуча, по-любому где-то есть капсула знаний, в которых они упоминаются. По-любому есть. И тут как бы вопрос, а на эти капсулы это тоже повлияло? Или нет? Ну то есть если на нее было что-то записано, потом в Ирминцуле поменялось, а информация на капсуле изменится или нет? Она же отделена, она не имеет никакой связи с ним. Секретные видосики.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul.
То есть информация достаточно абстрактна, да, то есть попросту наполненная образами в форме сказки, поэтому Ирминсуль ее не изменил. Если бы там были написаны четко факты, было так-то, так-то, делал тот-то, тот-то, то это бы точно так же бы подверглось изменению. А так как это было написано типа, ну, вроде бы там вот это произошло, по словам того, кто был там, и все вот это, то есть очень много непонятных, эта информация осталась неизменной.
But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own.
Чудовище. Бедняжка Скоромуч.
Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
Не, ну вот все равно, да? Насколько сценаристы Михайо вот это продумали? Просто какая-то сказка, просто чего-то там добавили. Ну блин, ну серьезно, вот, ну прикольно же. Они могут это делать. У них есть таланты, у них есть сценаристы, которые продумывают сюжет, делают вот такое. Он вроде бы и такой, ну, достаточно детский, и в то время, ну, блин, за ним интересно наблюдать. Казалось бы, да, при чем тут сказка? Ну, достаточно интересно написано, круто. Не знаю, мне прям нравится.
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us.
Вот почему сама по себе мудрость не дает никаких решений.
So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that, but Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Телефон сел, на зарядку поставил. Ну, я не могу прочитать ее мысли, она, наверное, ни о чем не думает.
There's a few things I'd like to look into. You should go take a walk and try to...
Ну тут как бы у нас все равно, видишь, нету именно четкого понимания того, как все-таки этот мир работает. Нам это никто, ну именно правила конкретно этого мира нам же никто не прописал. Мы исходим из того, что вот нам как бы говорят. Ну типа, мы же точно не знаем, что именно поменялось, не поменялось. Как на это именно Ирминсуль отреагировал, ну то есть, вот он удалил себя, да, оттуда. Ну и насколько я понимаю, мир не поменялся, мир не начинался строиться с нуля, ничего не изменилось, просто информация о нем пропала. И все воспоминания просто заменились, но мир продолжил жить дальше. То есть точка отсчета не изменилась. Что мне тут нужно сделать?
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Тревелер слишком много думает, это не пойдет ему на пользу.
What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?